All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Run! Go! This is the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and podcast. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. Let's get to the podcast with number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
That sounded weird. What was that?
That sounded weird.
Yeah.
What's he fucking?
This is bad.
He's like,
You're usually better than this.
Ghostbusters. What it feeling strange? All right, cool.
Nah, that's not it.
It's James Brown, right?
No, it's not. It's Ray Parker Jr.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
We
you
don't know
called
if it's
Ghostbusters 3, but
Ghostbusters
it's in the
3,
same
but-
universe as Ghostbusters, which automatically makes it Ghostbusters 3, no matter what they end up calling it.
Third the third Ghostbuster
Yeah,
film.
there's been a lot
We're
of
skipping the last one.
craziness.
Why am I just James
I'm
Brown
not sure
in
what's
this
going
thing?
on here, I'll be honest. Jason Brown's not even in those movies.
I know. I should have been in there.
Maybe he'll be one of the ghosts that they bust.
That'd be
There
nice.
you go.
Because I'm legendary.
The third one.
Feels good. It feels good. Because I'm good. It's all good. The world's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
everybody now. All right, I don't know. What are we doing?
Yeah,
for?
what's happened? The 80s is coming back. We got Coming to America 2, Ghostbusters
Yeah.
3.
I'm telling you,
Bill and Ted
there's a
3.
beginning trend.
Is that still happening?
There's
Yeah,
a
I think so.
beginning trend of films skipping any remakes from the originals,
Yeah.
like in the 80s or early 90s, and just going back and doing a sequel, a third, or whatever to those films that were made in the 80s and early 90s.
Catching
And they're
it on
skipping
tape.
anything that's been recent and associated with the
It's
film.
been pretty
It's
successful.
interesting.
I'm not in disagreement with this pattern
into it.
at all. Now let's clue people in on exactly what happened here. So, Ghostbusters, you had 1 and 2 in 1984 and 1989 respectively. They basically did a remake or reboot. It was a remake. 2016 didn't occur in the same universe as the original one, and what happened was it didn't do well. It was an all-female cast, which was totally fine. They're great actresses. You had Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon. You had Liam Hemsworth in it. You had all the original guys doing cameos.
Yeah.
Except for Harold Ramis, who rest in peace, and also not Louis Tully. We didn't have Rick Moranis in it. But besides that, the movie didn't do too well, right? There was a narrative about it being, you know what I mean? There was like misogyny played a part in the movie not doing well. In my opinion, it really wasn't that. I enjoyed the movie; it was entertaining, but it didn't capture the things that seemed to make those original ones special. It was just a movie that came out. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna.
It was just like the comedy in it was too
slapsticky.
slapstick, and it was like slapstick.
Yeah.
in your
It never
face.
felt like there was a threat. Whereas I want to say in Ghostbusters 1 and 2, like even though there's all that humor, there's a sense of seriousness and like that
It felt heavier. This
it
one
felt
had a bit
heavier.
of that, but it was
I didn't feel it.
It was a little
I
slapsticky.
felt like I was watching a 2-hour like live action animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I think that
There were funny moments.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad.
No,
movie,
it really
but-
They
isn't.
definitely weren't with Chris Hemsworth.
it wasn't. But if you're gonna slap Ghostbusters on something, the Ghostbusters name, that brand, is very nostalgic for people, right? And if you watch those first 2 movies, especially that first one for me, it's near perfect. I love that movie, and I love the second one too, and I love the humor of it. I love the delivery
Second
in
one's
it.
the best one.
All right. So like that's all that makes those movies are very. It's like Back to the Future. You know what I mean? So that kind of a
They're
thing.
legendary.
They're legendary, but it's like it's people's childhoods. It's like there's a lot riding on this, and if you're gonna do that movie, you have to somehow figure out. I'm not saying what they should have done different. I don't know, but I'm saying they didn't do what they should have done, whatever the fuck that is.
Did you know Bill Murray took like a 5-year break from acting after it was something crazy like that? Like after that the first movie because it was so successful. Like he had no idea that this film was gonna like blow up or be successful, and he was like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
by all the
Well, he came. 4 years
attention.
later, he had Scrooge. No, there was another one that around that time period. I think it was Where the Buffaloes Roam or something like that didn't do well, and that kind of put him off acting. It was more of that. That's what
Really?
happened. Yeah. He had
Are
it
you
was
sure
like
it
it was
wasn't
like a critical
Ghostbusters?
failure. No, it was like a critical and financial failure after that, and it really kind of he was like, ugh, like because it was
It
hit,
wasn't
hit,
like
hit,
the
hit,
Razor's
hit.
Edge or anything.
It
Yeah.
may have been the Razor's Edge.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. So, but it was like movie after movie was like hit. You know, starting with Meatballs in '79, and then all of a sudden something didn't hit, and he like went for a loop on it.
Yeah.
That's basically that's what I've read. But back to Ghostbusters. So the reboot didn't capture.
No.
Okay. I don't feel like I think of that movie and I think it was a fun, entertaining movie, but it's just a blip, like with all the other kind of movies that are like that. It didn't feel special. There was something missing. You know what I mean? Like you look at movies like Halloween, the new one that came out, right? That it was enough of the feelings of the original with enough new stuff, enough twists. It made the women like not like, you know, secondary like scream queens or victims. It gave them like strength, and it was awesome. Like it was great. So it did that. It straddled both worlds, right? So I love that. So I think that's the kind of thing. It was another good one. There was a remake of the original It, and that just did it better.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters failed to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just did. It sucks. And those actors are all really funny and talented. And the director, he's the guy who did The Heat, Paul Feig. He did The Heat. He did Bridesmaids. It didn't work. I don't know what to say. It didn't work in terms of what it was supposed to do with that brand. So they scrapped any ideas for a sequel. It didn't develop anything further. That movie did not acknowledge the original movies in terms of being in the same universe. So what happens? They all of a sudden start developing another Ghostbusters movie in secret. We had no idea.
I mean, it could have been developing it prior to the
We don't know.
reboot.
Well, I don't think so because Jason Reitman, it was his idea. So Ivan Reitman's the director of the original Ghostbusters movie, the original two. He was a producer on the most recent one. His son, Jason Reitman, is a director in his own right. He did Up in the Air, Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Young Adult. He's a phenomenal director. I love those movies. I think he's fantastic.
I mean, they're kind of
funny
like
with emotion.
indie movies.
They are.
though.
They're
Like,
great.
to take
though.
on a big budget thing like Ghostbusters.
He did something in the last year or two. I don't remember whether you can look it up. One of the movies he did in the last year or two wasn't as big as Ghostbusters, but it was bigger than those movies. So he kind of started getting into that. But he considers himself the original.
That's like M. Night Shyamalan making Avatar. That's
right.
why that's when I get scared. These indie guys try to like make some
But let's
big
back it up
budget
for a second.
CG
There's a
thing.
big. Here's the big difference. Jason
Or the
Reitman.
Airbender.
Jason Reitman considers
Yeah.
himself the original fan of Ghostbusters, and there's a reason for that. He was on the set as a 6-year-old kid with his father on the original Ghostbusters and fell in love with it all, and was like
wow.
completely like amazed and like oh my god, like look at all this. There's pictures of him on the torn up Central Park West street right outside the building. When the Ghostbusters fell down into the ground, he's standing on it, holding his dad's hand. He's 6 years old, big grin on his face. He was in Ghostbusters 2, Neil. He was in Ghostbusters 2 in the birthday party. He's the one who's like, my dad says you guys suck, like whatever that is, like when they're at the birthday party.
Oh,
in the beginning
yeah.
of the film.
When
That's Jason
Dan
Reitman.
Aykroyd and,
Ernie Hudson. That's Jason Reitman. So the guy's got a history going back and loves those movies. Like he geeks out on those movies, and his dad directed him.
Yeah.
He did Tully with Charlize Theron recently in The Front Runner.
There you go.
Just as his director.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's totally like a fan of these movies, right? Then he becomes a director in his own right, and he said 10, 15 years ago, I'm not going to do a Ghostbusters. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing my own path. I'm doing my own thing. But then recently, in the last couple of years, he had an idea for a Ghostbusters movie. And he was like, he went to his dad. He's like, dude, Dad, I want to do this movie. And here's my idea. And his dad apparently cried. Like, was like, he always wanted him to kind of take it over, but he never wanted to push him to do it. And then all of a sudden, he's like, on his own, is like, I have this thing that I'm passionate about and this story I want to tell. It's in the original universe. This is what I want to do. And then the next day, they released a teaser trailer for it, which is so simple. But in the teaser alone, it conjured up more nostalgia in me than that entire reboot. Like anything in that entire reboot. The teaser
it is
did
weird. It did.
And
I had
that's-
to say,
It did, yeah.
Even though it's like a ridiculous trailer, like that's it parked in the middle of nowhere in some barn.
Farmhouse, barn.
I just think of like Bill Murray
music
living on a
and
farm or something, or
something,
Dan Aykroyd
or Dan
living on a
Aykroyd, which I'm
farm,
going to say
or
something about
Ernie
that.
Hudson.
So that did that, and you'd be like, well, that's just playing under nostalgia, and that's cheap. I'm like, no, but you're calling it Ghostbusters, like. That's playing on nostalgia automatically. When you did a reboot in 2016 of Ghostbusters and called it Ghostbusters and said who you're going to call, You were trying to play on nostalgia, but you didn't deliver on the nostalgia. Like, that's
Exactly.
your fucking job. If you're doing that, you're trying to cheaply cash in on our childhoods. So if you're going to do it right and actually give us what we want.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what the teaser trailer did, and it was so simple.
there's
Yeah.
without getting like I'm not, without getting like controversial or whatever, but
Yeah.
there's this element of like the all-female reboot. You have like the Ocean's 8 that just came out, and then you have this, and then
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode.
yeah, they did that, and I mean, it's not like taking over the world or anything, but like I feel like for some reason that turned people off
Right.
for whatever reason, and I thought it was great. I mean, every actress that's in the reboot is
Are
like
amazing.
a great comedic,
Yeah.
they're great comedic actress.
Yeah,
So
I had no issue with that. Like, apparently
I
there
feel
was
like
some misogyny online, like
they-
people going, "This is retarded."
they should have just-
I'm like, it's awesome. It's just the movie didn't deliver.
I think you're right. I think it's that point of like it people went into it, or at least fans of the original two went into it thinking it was going to be like pay homage to those films.
Yeah.
And other than them driving
The car and
a car, and them having like proton packs
having
and fighting ghosts,
a weak
like,
remake of the song too, done by Fall Out Boy. That was like poppy and like
well, they're trying to like
drowned into the background. There was nothing impactful about the song. Even like that's what they didn't deliver on all the things that should have.
I don't know. It's a weird thing because like the first two appealed to children and adults. There's things children can walk away from and enjoy those films, and adults can walk away from and get the adult humor and enjoy it. In this film, I felt like there was much less of the adult aspect of it, and it was mainly geared towards children.
Did feel like
it
that
was
a
like a
little bit.
live action cartoon.
Yeah.
To a large degree, and that made the adults who came to go see it, because it was mainly like
Yeah.
adults who were like familiar with the first two films. It was people that were either children or like maybe young adults or whatever when they saw it when they came out that went to go see this film, and they were like, what am I watching?
Right.
Like, this doesn't appeal to me because this is appealing to
Yeah.
like maybe to my kids.
Right.
Like maybe that's who it's appealing to, but it wasn't appealing to them as fans.
Yeah, watch that original Ghostbusters film, the first one, right? That film is literally the second one's a great movie. I love the second one, dude. You love it more. I like the first one more. All right, but my point being that first
Ooze,
one,
man.
yeah, that first
The
movie.
ooze.
Yeah, I know that
The
first,
slime.
Yeah, do you know Max von Sydow does the voice of Vigo the Carpathian?
Does he?
Yes.
No.
He does the voice. The guy,
I guess
the
it
guy
makes sense. It's
from
not
Die
the guy
Hard
from
is
Die
yeah,
Hard,
it's not
yeah.
his voice. Max von Sydow, that's his
Vigo.
voice. He's
Yeah,
like,
dude, yeah.
I am the scourge of Carpathia. It's Max von Sydow. I just found that out. I was like,
The
how did I
Upper
not know
West
this?
Side?
The Upper West Side? Where are you from? Your accent. Where are you from? The Upper West Side? Okay, but the first movie, if you watch that movie is not slapsticky. Okay, it's smarter, dialogue heavy. It's delivered like funny, like facial expression, impression. Like there's just a lot more going on like that on a basic comedic level. That's not trying to be like, hey, look at this outlandish thing we could do. When they had Melissa McCarthy riding the proton pack in the alleyway like it's a fire hose out of control, it was just. And like when she got
It's
possessed,
too much Looney
when she
Tune.
got possessed, and Leslie Jones's character was like slapping her, trying to get her unpossessed, and then it like went into Liam Hemsworth's character, and he got on the motorcycle and he revved it up. I was just like, what am I like? No, like this is not working. Like you
Yeah.
can't call this a different movie and then just have it be just a movie that came out and is like just kind of we've moved on for it. But don't call it Ghostbusters and expect us to be like. That was a good, we're going to compare it automatically to a movie that's far superior to this movie. That movie that was done 22 years earlier.
Yeah.
Or 32. I'm
84.
sorry, 32 years earlier.
Yeah, 84.
32 years earlier. And that movie it holds up. There's some great stuff in that film. Like,
There wasn't a lot of elements in this reboot to even come close to the old two. I mean, like you said, the first and the second one. Yes, you're talking about ghosts. It's science fiction. It's fantasy and everything. But they also kept a realistic perspective in there, where the dialogue was great.
Yeah.
The jokes were landed perfectly. The cast, not male, female, I don't give a fuck. The cast did an incredible job on doing their parts. And even the writers and that wrote the lines and everything, it just works. This one, it was, to me, it was so slapstick
yeah.
that it ruined slapstick in itself.
Right.
It like you're saying, that part where she
It was
was
lowbrow.
smacking, it was very lowbrow, and it was overly done. It was like they were overacting. Yes,
I
I
agree
love
with
them
that.
as actors. I love them all. I've seen them in Saturday Night Live. Jenny McCarthy,
Melissa McCarthy and Bridesmaids and all that.
Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
She's
Kristen Wiig's
incredible. She's an incredible actress.
They're all incredible.
Even
they're
Liam
all-
Hemsworth,
yeah.
he's a great comedic actor, I think.
He's good.
They're all great actors, yeah. But they didn't fit the script and what was filmed. It was just overly done.
Wasn't there a
It was
dance at the end of it? Wasn't there a
There
ghost
was
dance of some sort?
yeah.
Like, I was like, what? Like, this is like Blues Brothers 2000. Like,
You told me you liked it because I didn't see it in theaters, and then you were like,
did
"Oh,
like
dude,
it.
it's good, it's good." And then like I went and watched it, and I was like, I don't know. There was like a handful of times where I like chuckled,
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
and then
I
at the
liked
end
it.
when that
I do
dance
like
broke out,
it.
I was kind of like, I don't know who this is for. It's
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah. Now, no, what I'm trying to say is I do
And
like
then I
the
went
movie.
and rewatched Ghostbusters 2, and I was like, oh my god, this is
yeah,
like
yeah.
a billion times
And,
better.
and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know this about me. I watch a movie and I'm like, I can be entertained. I was entertained by the movie. I enjoyed watching it. But I know, like, in the pantheon of Ghostbusters films in the canon, like, it does not hold a candle to it. And
Ghostbusters
that's what
2
I'm
was
saying.
nominated for 2 Oscars.
Music? Edit? Really? Special visual effects?
Best director because it's the best movie.
All
Best screenplay.
I don't think so.
No, it's nominated for best effects and best music.
Costume-
Actually,
music, yeah.
original score.
Well, I called it on both.
What's his name?
Not Ray Parker Jr.
That's what it says. Ray Parker Jr., which is weird.
I guess he did the music beyond just the song.
Is this the first one or the second one?
You're on the first one. Come on.
No, this is. Oh, it is the first one. Sorry. Ghostbusters. Was
That makes more
nominated
sense.
For 2 Oscars.
Yeah, it was the original song. Anyways,
All
all right. So I don't want to shit on Leslie Jones, okay? But But I do want to discuss what she tweeted out. It's unfortunate. I hate this type
like
of shit.
yesterday.
Yeah. And again, by the time this episode drops, maybe there's more information that's going to come forth. But this is what we know right now. So Leslie Jones, what did she tweet out, Neil? She was just
She
like
tweeted out that
she was angry. She's upset about the film.
She was very upset. Like, to paraphrase, she was very upset that this new Ghostbusters movie is being made and it's not going to acknowledge. Like, they've already announced it will not acknowledge their Ghostbusters movie.
Right.
Like, it didn't happen.
Right.
And she tweeted. It
Yeah.
was literally like a few days after this trailer dropped. And then she tweets this thing. Maybe she just found out and was like, she just kind of like let loose on Twitter and made a
Yes.
bunch of Trump analogies, like this is something Trump would do.
Right.
Made it political for some reason. I don't understand.
Yeah. So here's what this is basically what she says. I'm just gonna read it. I just want to discuss it because it's important. Like, in my
This
opinion,
is what people are going to do now. They're going
Yeah.
to say that it's somehow a male-female thing and
Yeah.
it's sexist and blah, blah, blah.
I feel like that's
Yeah,
that's a
think
weak
it's
argument.
crazy.
Like that's
Yeah.
not, I don't
I
feel like
hate
that's
that.
fair. Like
I hate this.
We're trying to judge the art here, like
Yeah.
the branding and the art. Like that's what we're trying. Like being fans of the originals.
Here, I'll be short and clear. Your movie was not up to par, and it wasn't even close to being as good as Ghostbusters.
Right. It was a
That's-
fine
It's
movie.
not about you being a female, not about you being a male. It's not about you being a Hindu. I don't
oh,
care.
no.
If you're not comparing
thing.
it, if it stands alone by itself, it's an entertaining film.
This
But
is what
the
she
second
said.
you start
No, it was
comparing
broken.
it-
I won't.
She tweeted this out to 3 different people. She tweeted this out 3 different times and replied the exact same thing. She says, "So insulting, like fuck us. We didn't count. It's like something Trump would do. Trump voice. Gonna redo Ghostbusters better with men. Will be huge. Those women ain't Ghostbusters." Ugh.
Why you
so
sound like
annoying.
Arnold?
I know, we started trying to talk
No,
like Trump.
I sounded like what's his face? The mayor from Simpsons.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
that's what I thought.
Quiggum?
Yeah.
Quiggum?
No, Wiggum is the chief.
Wiggum,
No,
Wiggum.
no, I was talking about the mayor. Like, I'm gonna enjoy this. Chowder.
Yeah, what is his name?
Chowder.
Mayor
no,
Quiggum or
no,
something.
because Wiggum is the chief of police.
Quiggum.
Or the police.
I'm looking at this
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
up.
Mayor.
Look it up. Anyway, so he goes, then she says, ugh, so annoying, such a dick move, and I don't give a fuck, I'm saying something. Okay, so she's upset, obviously. Now, could that have been avoided? Like, probably somebody should have
Quimby,
talked to
Mayor
her.
Quimby. Sorry.
There you go, Quimby. So probably somebody should have talked to Leslie Jones. Like, it's sounding like they weren't acknowledged. Now, she already knew that this other movie wasn't being done. Like, that movie, the sequel, like a sequel to her movie, had been scrapped a long time ago, 2 years ago. So that was never happening. I think what happened was somebody gave her the respect to like acknowledge and let her know beforehand, hey, listen, we're doing another movie. I just want to let you know. She's like fuck us. Like, we're not doing that. Now, she's thinking that there's not going to be any female Ghostbusters. Like, that we don't even know the details of this movie. It could be all female again.
But that doesn't matter.
No.
Like, this
No, what
is-
I'm trying to say is if somebody wants to bring that argument, like, you're projecting something. Like, you don't even know. This could totally be an all-female reboot. It could be a mix. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what the story is. We don't know if the original people are coming back. And she's like we didn't exist. Listen, you didn't acknowledge the original films in terms of you did it in a separate universe. Now, you had cameos from the original cast, but you didn't. You were in a separate universe. This one's in the same universe as the first two movies.
Correct.
So it's not a fair argument. Like, this is not acknowledging your universe because you didn't acknowledge the original's universe.
Yeah.
That was what you guys decided to do with that film. That's on you. If you'd been in the same universe, this movie would be in the same universe as you, and you could then cameo as your character. Now, you might still get a cameo in this movie. They haven't shot the fucking movie yet.
Yeah.
They're in
You
pre-production.
might have just lost your cameo,
Yes,
too.
I'm like, calm down. Like, I get
Yeah.
it. Somebody should have told you, probably. Somebody should have had the conversation. Maybe they did, and she's still just pissed off and salty about it. I don't know. I'm just like, why do we have to get fucking divisive about this shit?
Dude, this is
Yeah.
like it's already getting ridiculous.
Oh, of course.
An
It's-
open
it's
letter to Jason Reitman.
Like literally, this guy announces he's making a Ghostbusters movie that's not going to acknowledge the second
I think
movie.
it's- I think
and
it's-
now the internet's like going insane. Like,
for the most part, I've seen a lot of positive
I think that's
stuff.
sad because you
yeah, it's
see
been
this.
mostly positive.
this
But
guy
of course,
went to
you
his-
have, you know,
For the vocal minority.
Yeah, but the first thing that we talked about
Not the blacks.
how he went to
Talking
his
about-
dad saying,
The minority Twitter. Is on. You looked
Listen.
at me in a certain way.
"Listen,
no, I didn't.
You thought I was ragging on you.
What?
I'm not a racist, Neil. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
fucking talking too much."
Go ahead.
No, this goes back to you're taking away from this guy like taking on like what his dad did. You
Yeah,
know, he's taking
that's
those.
cool.
That's so fucking awesome. And now you're trying to flip this good thing into something that's about you. It really
Yeah,
is.
it
That's
really does
literally
feel like
what's
that a little bit.
You're flipping
She's hurt.
it about
She's hurt,
you.
obviously. She's
I
hurt.
get it that you're hurt, but guess what? A lot of fucking people didn't get a role. A lot of fucking people didn't get called back for films. That's part of being in that fucking industry. Sometimes you do, sometimes you just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, as part of being there. And it sucks that there's this great, because I love Ghostbusters and I love both films. And it sucks to me that there's this good momentum starting to happen with this film where we talked about nostalgia. You know, it's like, oh, I feel like a kid again. You know, they're gonna bring back this world again that I fell in love with. And now this one person's basically like, as a little kid sitting there with a bowl of cereal trying to watch Ghostbusters, she's coming and taking my fucking cereal from this film.
Right.
You know, just by trying to say, oh, it's this. It's not that. Like you said, nobody knows anything about this film.
Right.
They're just saying we're not going to acknowledge that film because it wasn't the fucking part of this universe. So
if you had made it
Why?
part of the original universe, you would then be like it would.
Yeah.
It would acknowledge your film. Like,
I don't know, man. I mean, it's a complicated issue.
I hate-
think the whole thing of like it gets very murky. We're entering murky waters here.
it's a political water.
Yeah, because the fact that they made an all-female thing was like, we're going to make this just to make the point that we can make an all-female movie that's going to be successful and do well.
guess
And
so,
and it was well rated. It was well reviewed.
I don't- the
No,
reboot?
I don't think so. No,
I think it
wasn't.
was.
No,
look it up. I don't
It
think it was.
on like Rotten Tomatoes, like the average was not bad.
no.
Oh, well, I mean, not bad being what? Like compared to like
Compared
Gotti,
to-
like the Gotti movie. It's like,
Compared to like you know, like
it's if it, I mean, I'm gonna guess it was in the 30 or 40% range for that movie.
was it?
I don't think it was well.
Maybe I saw like an early thing before all
Yeah.
the reviews came in.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, I was totally fine with it. But this is the unfortunate
Holy
thing. It's
shit.
like, what is
The
it got?
original Ghostbusters has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's amazing, that's why.
That's disturbing.
Disturbing. That
Yeah,
movie's
this one
incredible.
has
74%.
Oh, it has a 7
tomato meter.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
fine.
actually
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
That's rated fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it was well received by critics. They were fans of the originals who probably weren't.
It's got a
into it.
5.3 in IMDb.
Yeah, I don't think it made enough money. Is probably why they didn't.
Well, so, but my
Greenlight a
point
sequel?
is like, there's this. Okay.
It has a what on IMDb?
We're
5.3.
Yikes.
what we're diving into here.
That's like Masters of the Universe. Fucking.
All right, no, we don't talk about that.
Okay.
What we're diving into here is like, you know, fucking thousands of years of oppression of women. Like, I get it, and it's the heavy topic, but it's like, it's not going to get solved with the Ghostbusters movie. Like, this idea
is.
that like if we
Damn
make
it, Neil, it is. Equality comes through ghosts.
No, but if you fight
But
each
you see what
battle,
I'm
then
saying?
you win
Like-
overall war. I guess.
like this, but what she said is like that's the whole thing. That's
Right.
what people are thinking. Like
I know.
she said, she just tweeted
She
out
caused-
like this is like this is an affront on all women because she doesn't even know who's going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
In
And she's
her
already
tweet,
assuming
it could
it's
be
gonna
all
be
female
female
again.
herself,
know.
she caused a Trump momentum, basically a negative momentum.
I know, and this is what happened with the original
This is
film. You
not
had this
good.
misogynistic.
Yeah.
You had these people trying to be divisive
now
on Twitter
she's
before it
doing
ever
the
came out.
opposite
She's doing
of-
what they
You're
did.
creating
what they
a
did.
false perspective
Anyways,
on something
listen.
that's not.
This is how it feels, Nick. This is how it feels.
I know. Hey, listen, Leslie.
Be on the
I
other
know
side.
you. I know you listen to our podcast. We love you. You know that, okay? You're fucking hilarious. It's just, come on. Let's not feed into this shit. I like how I'm like acknowledging her, like she's actually listening. No, but seriously, it's not. It's not that. We don't know what it is. It could be an all-female cast. It could be a mix, which I actually would love to see.
That would be
guys
cool.
and girls.
It could be a handoff.
That's more of a let's hold hands. Fucking let's do this shit together kind of shit. Which I'd rather fucking see that, honestly. But I also don't care. I don't care what it is. I just want a good story that feels good, that acknowledges the original in terms of my nostalgic feelings, but also is a great movie and doesn't overdo anything. This one went extreme in too many directions. You know what I mean? Ghostbusters 2 did that a little bit with the Statue of Liberty scene at the end. But
Whoa.
We need to do
That's
with
like the best scene in the whole movie.
I know. Anyways, they
Only
just
because they have the Jackie Wilson, which is not really
Yeah.
the Jackie Wilson song, but it's a
Yeah.
cover from another band.
Your
It's so
love.
good. Yeah.
lift
They
me
load up
higher
the inside with the slime and make it
than I've ever
positive.
been lifted before.
You got it.
Exactly. She needs some of that
He
gel.
has like literally has like a fucking NES like
love it.
arcade
I love
pad
it.
or whatever that
I
he's
love
using
it.
to control the fucking statue. Like, come on, man.
I love it, but it's
cartoony as shit. It's what
Yeah,
Home
yeah,
Alone.
yeah.
It's what Home Alone 2 is. Home Alone 1.
That's exactly what they do with
took
all
it-
these sequels back in
took
the
it
day.
to another level
Yes.
of extremeness, but it's a good extremeness.
I agree. I love Ghostbusters too. Like I really do. I love. Like I said,
so
I
much
think the worst.
You know, they need to do like a wintry Ghostbusters. I feel like none of them really took place when it was like snowy.
Yeah, they
That would be a snow
ran
element.
through,
That'd be
during the
kinda cool.
montage sequence. I feel like there might have been a little bit in the first movie. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they show
Like a
some like
Christmas.
seasons passing.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
think they did.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't wait for more information to come out about this movie. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to know who the cast is going to be. I want to know if the original guys are coming back. I want to know if they're going to acknowledge Harold Ramis in ghost form, Egon in some way. Not even necessarily in ghost form. Maybe they'll do a little thing like his name, you know what I mean, will be somewhere. Or they'll acknowledge that his character died within the universe or something like that. Now, let me just, little theory here, right? I'd read somebody had mentioned this really quick or had quoted this part of the first movie, which is the scene. Do you remember how they funded the original operation in the first Ghostbusters movie after they get fired from the university and kicked out of the university? Do you remember how they funded it?
Are you talking about the commercials and stuff?
No. The commercials was how they promoted themselves, but no, how they funded,
Yeah,
how they
through
bought the,
commercials
how
on
they rented
TV.
the firehouse, how they got the car, how they got the proton packs, how they.
That's like a
Yeah, they
loan?
borrowed money from
Yeah.
something, from like somewhere.
They walk out of the bank and it's Egon, Ray, and
Yeah, they
Bill
took out,
Murray,
like, a
and
loan.
Ray's like, oh, my parents left me that farm.
Oh,
That's all I had left
yeah.
of them. And he goes,
Yes.
oh, come on, everybody's got 3 mortgages these days, Ray.
Yeah.
They mention his farm. So I'm
They
like,
do
And this
mention a
one's in a
farm,
farm,
you're
in a
right,
farm,
yeah.
in a barn. What's happening? Is this like Ray Stantz's son? You know what I mean? Has Ray died maybe, and this is like his son, and he finds
feel
what his
like
dad
that-
used to do and didn't know, and his dad had hung it up. I don't
handing
know.
the mantle, but that is 100% dependent on whoever
Yeah.
these goddamn kids are.
But
they're going to get to play this
would they
role.
just? Why would they
Like,
do a
it's
random?
so easy for
They
these
did-
for some kids. to fuck it
Ghostbuster
up.
Yeah.
Creed.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
so easy to take like no names and like.
They can get like Ty Sheridan, the guy from Ready
Although,
Player One or something like that. They can,
I
they
feel
can
like
do somebody good. Miles
it worked.
Teller. It was great. That's what I'm saying.
But
They can do it if you get
there's-
the right guys, get
it's
the right
hard
casting.
to do it.
Stranger Things.
But I feel like that age, if you get good child actors at
They're
that
adu-
age, it's like it works.
they're
But
adults
then-
now though. Ray's in his mid to late 60s, so his son would be grown up.
Yeah, but
It
that's what I'm saying.
wouldn't be a
That's when it
kid.
gets questionable.
Yeah.
When you have a kid that's like 18 or whatever.
No, he'd be like in
kid,
his
but
30s.
when you have like a
probably.
17,
He'd be like
18
30. Jason Reitman, if you think of it that way, like his dad, like did the first, like that 32 years ago. The second movie was 30 years ago this year. 89 that Ghostbusters
right.
2 came out. The kid would be, 25 to 30,
They could make it work.
So I don't know if that's what they're going to do,
Bill
but
Murray,
isn't it interesting?
Sigourney Weaver have a love child.
Yeah, we see Sigourney Weaver.
her son?
Did she cameo in the reboot? Yeah,
I don't think so.
Oscar. Yeah, so like what happened to her? Like we need
Yeah, what
Sigourney
happened to
Weaver.
Oscar, who got possessed by Vigo.
Oscar,
Carpathian.
yeah, one of those
Oh,
kids.
wow.
It was twins, one of them.
So,
Yeah.
but the other thing I thought was interesting is even in the reboot, the cameos didn't acknowledge who they were. They were just there. It
Yeah.
was like random people in the background, or
Well,
they
yeah,
walk
Dan
into a
Aykroyd
scene.
played-
They're like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Dan
And then
Aykroyd played a
goodbye. Nice to
cab
see
driver.
ya.
Dan Aykroyd played a cab driver. Ernie
Yeah.
Hudson played Leslie Jones.
So it's almost
uncle, I
like
think.
these are two
Yeah.
separate universes. So why acknowledge that other?
And they
film
can
at
still
all?
cameo in this film as other characters the way they did it with that cast. The thing is, it's
Yeah, but he already said that they're not acknowledging.
no, not acknowledging the movie, but they could play different characters like the original cast did in
that
the
would just
reboot.
be
I think that's
I
all.
would say they
out.
could do
breaking
that.
the fourth
Yeah,
wall.
I don't think they're going to. I mean, we
Especially
don't
after this
know.
tweet. I'm out there
After
like,
this tweet.
maybe, but then again,
He went
maybe
back
a
to the
reversal
script and
happen.
say,
they'll be
yeah.
like, "Oh, we're so sorry. Come
They
be
might.
in our movie."
That's kind of the world we live in right now, anyways.
It is, yeah.
But anyways, back to the teaser. It's on a farm. It's a barn. So it's like, why would they do that without them kind of trying to make a point of something, right? Like, there's
yeah,
like,
no, the farm makes no sense other than
Other than-
him
Other
making
than that,
comment
that's
yeah.
the
in the first
acknowledgement.
movie.
I was like, all right, well, maybe that's what that is.
Maybe
That'd
the
be
whole thing
interesting.
takes place in a small town that's no longer in the city.
Oh,
small
man.
town America.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
Is that a bummer?
I'm partial to New York. I don't know. I like the.
but
New
we
York.
already have two films that take place entirely in New York
do it in
City.
Chicago. We can do it in Chicago. I just feel like it should be in a city, right?
No.
No, not necessarily.
It could be like Stranger Things then.
Stranger Things. That actually,
That kind of be cool.
you know what would be interesting? It would be so
It would
they
have to
do
have
this
some
other
significance
film.
for it, though, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd lives on his farm with his kids, his wife, whatever. Maybe he lives by himself. Maybe he's divorced. Maybe he's widowed. And he's got the equipment there, like stored in the barn, and that fucking reactor thing is there, the nuclear reactor
Yeah.
that's housing all the ghosts, and like somehow his kids or neighbor people stumble upon it, and the thing lets loose this like fucking
Jumanji shit.
opens
Yeah.
like Pandora's box on this small town. There's a small farm community or whatever, and it's like the night of them trying to like reverse
Yeah.
all this shit. Like all the events take place in an evening or something.
That's a
where
great
they're trying
theory.
to,
I like
yeah.
that.
that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be. I'd be
know?
down for that. Again, if they do it right, I don't care what they do.
And they gotta
Just
like
do it
call
right.
Ernie Hudson, and they're like old geezers, like getting in their shit or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, I
Egon's
don't know.
gone. You know,
With the
he's
kids.
passed away, and Bill Murray. You know, it'd be interesting. But
I feel like you could have fun with it. You can make a fun, humorous,
yeah,
and in a weird way. Like, did you see? You didn't see the new Predator yet?
Yes, I have.
You did see it?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I like that has like this kind of like night of craziness.
Yeah, I like that.
everything kind of builds
A
to this
single night
evening.
kind of thing.
A
Yeah, it's
single
kinda
night,
cool.
and like all these crazy things happen, and it's funny and it has humor. And,
Yeah. I like
you
that.
know.
Yeah.
I think that again, not to stick on the negative, but you know, Leslie Jones was like, they're like not. It's insulting. They're not even acknowledging us. I'm like, but you know what? Your movie also. Did you know that Dan Aykroyd was trying to develop a Ghostbusters 3 for fucking decade? Like he was literally writing script after script, draft after draft, trying to get this thing made, trying to make it happen, trying to thing, and then you guys came around and scrapped his whole thing. Like that was insulting. You know, if you want to look at it that way. So again, it's like. This pointing fingers, blaming, like just let's get off that. Like Ghostbusters is fun. It's about fun. It's about escapism. Like there's so much real shit going on these days, and so much fucking heavy stuff. There's so much divisiveness. I don't want to get into a whole political thing, but I hate that shit, and I just want. That's like we need an
Ghostbusters-
escape. We need an escape, and we don't want. This is what Twitter
You're gonna be
does.
so careful about what you say.
What?
You know?
Huh? What?
I'm just saying, like when you know what I'm saying, like it's this weird thing where like people get so worked up.
Yeah, but I think everybody
And
can
they
agree.
associate
it's
it with, like-
divisive.
I'll say
we
this.
can at
I
least
do
agree
hate
that
But
the
if there are
fact
people that
that-
think that because Ghostbusters exists, it's like a sexist movie.
Yeah, could be. But
I hate that. I hate
there's people
how
on both sides
people are
that
fucking
are going
just,
going at each other on this.
Here's the
stuff,
thing.
It was
but
made in 1984. Like I don't.
Yeah.
You can't.
know.
I don't think people. Are
I
shitting on
disagree
their
when you
backwards.
do
They just want
something.
the new ones
I
to be
disagree
inclusive.
when you do something that harms somebody else. I always disagree. It doesn't matter what it is. When you do something and to harm somebody else, I do not like that. But I do hate the fact that their society today is so sensitive that you can't enjoy something for what it is or what it could be.
Yeah.
Because of somebody else's negativity,
Right.
Against it.
I just want it to be an
This is the
escapism.
world we live
you,
in,
you
though.
can't
This is the
enjoy
world of
it.
Twitter and
you can't
social
say,
media.
"Oh,
Like, you
I'm
can't
excited
escape
for
it.
the third Ghostbusters because this whole dramatic situation is going," and you might be looked bad upon. "Oh, well, did you hear what she said about Ghostbusters? You shouldn't go watch that movie." I'm like, dude, I just want to go watch a movie and enjoy it. But no, this whole negative, like, because somebody was being, to me, I feel like somebody was being too sensitive and early on the trigger. Now they're causing this negative effect on something that could be great. Could be another fucking hand down from parents. You know, "Oh, I used to love to watch this film."
Yeah.
Here,
And
I'ma
again,
send
it could
my
be all
kid,
female. We don't
you
even
know?
know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to bring that up. I don't care if he's female or male. That doesn't fucking matter. Stop with the female and male.
But
That doesn't
the
matter.
point being is that was her argument.
That's-
and it's
but
like,
this is
it's not
stupid.
even a fair
I
argument
think
because
it's
she doesn't
stupid.
even know.
Exactly. It's stupid
I think
because
she
she
just
doesn't
feels
know.
slighted personally on a personal level, which I do understand. And somebody should have. I don't like when there's not open communication about this stuff. Like, you should talk to the people who did the last movie and just out of courtesy let them know, hey, listen. And again, they may have let her know, and she may have been like, I'm still
Why should they
pissed.
do that though?
It's,
I mean,
it's
if
professional.
she's not
it's just being.
if she's not even involved in the film,
But it's just being, dude, it's not about
does-
whether you have to legally or even.
No, I understand what
whatever.
you're saying. It's
No,
a
just
courtesy. Yeah,
it's a
but
courtesy. It's
they
just
don't
being a
have to
good
do
person.
that.
Like, hey, listen, you're gonna find out there's this thing
But
coming
it doesn't
out.
make-
Just so you know, like,
what I'm saying is that doesn't make them a bad person if they decide not to do
no,
that.
but it would be good if they did do that. That's all I'm saying. I could have avoided this. Now, again, they may have done that, and she may still be pissed off. I don't know. I don't know how Leslie Jones
yeah,
is. I don't know if she just gets.
This is what I
worked
say.
up,
It's
or
like
if she,
there's too much sensitivity.
or if they actually
involved.
were assholes and maybe told her, no, it's gonna be like, maybe somebody did fucking tell her something like, no, we're not developing anything else, or we are developing something, but you guys are totally gonna be involved in the project, and then this comes out and she wasn't given any info. I don't know the behind the scenes. The point being,
No, I get it.
the movie, the little bit, I like the way they're doing this promotional rollout. They acknowledge that he's taking over the movie. He had a good idea. The next day, they dropped this little teaser, which had more nostalgia and hit me in the feels more than anything else since the second Ghostbusters back in the day. I like the fact that they're just teasing out little stuff here and there. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for a Ghostbusters movie in a long time. I was looking forward to that other Ghostbusters movie, but now this one, I'm like, oh my God, the geek and nerd in me is really feeling it. So
I mean, my last statement is that I feel bad that she got offended or whatever triggered this whole comment that she has, but I think she really should go back and think about what she's saying, because there's, like you said, there's nothing out on this film. There's nothing going on. And if it's okay for it not to have her in it, it's okay for it not to have the last people in it, Melissa McCarthy and all that. It's okay. It's a film that's coming out to try to entertain people. That's what it is. And it's not about, the film's not about female, males, and not about any political thing. It's a film that is meant to give us joy, basically.
yeah, that's it.
That's all it is. And now I'm angry in the fact that, like, the director brought this to his dad and created a connection with his dad.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
And it's
Like,
not nepotism because he's proven himself as a director over the last 15 years himself.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's not nepotism. Like, this guy's a good fucking director.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and it's just awesome to see this generational connection and, like, her statements coming out and it's trying to just destroy that. I feel like it's destroying that, and I just don't like that. I don't like statements without knowledge.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
so
All right.
Neil, last statement. I mean, you were searching the internet right there.
Yeah, he's like, I got
Really
45
strong.
minutes worth of statements.
No, I mean,
I want to talk about the sequel to this sequel.
I honestly, like, if this turns out what we hope, it could be or whatever, like, I think it's going to be great. I actually am into this trend. Like, I was not really into the trend of, like, the remakes and the reboots and all that stuff, but this thing of, like, the continuation that ignores.
Yes, the ones that didn't do
I'm,
well.
I'm hopeful for this new Terminator movie that's also ignoring all
Yeah.
these Terminator films. But I actually like that concept where they're like, they take the movie that people love the most and, like, it's, a
Continue
series
that
of films.
story. Do the
And then
sequel
they
that should have
continue
happened.
that. Yeah, they continue that and do something great with it. And it's usually from someone that's, like, a huge fan, like, Jason Reitman.
Yeah, Jason Reitman.
Yeah, like
Dennis
him.
Villeneuve,
Yeah,
like,
being the
for Blade
director,
Runner.
like, proving himself as a solid director. Like, he's made great films, like, great indie projects. He's able to get, like, incredible performances out of people.
Yeah.
And I think it's if anything, it's exciting. It creates a sense of, like, this could be really good, and it could bring a level of, like, sincerity and emotion that maybe we didn't get in the original Ghostbuster film or the remake.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yep, I'm down. I'm down.
We should be
I'm
nothing
see what
but
happens.
excited,
Exactly.
not trying
Let's
to
see
tear
what the
it
next
down
couple
before
days
anything
I'm here for
happens.
this.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I'm here.
All
for
right,
this.
everyone. Well, thank you for joining us at this ghostly of a podcast cast. I got nothing.
geez.
I got
It's
You got
crazy.
nothing.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Coming to America, Ghostbusters, Terminator. I
It's
don't know what's
crazy.
happening.
I know. There's
I
other ones
feel like
too.
a child again. Not really. I feel old as shit, but you know, I'm
Hey,
like
you get
mentally
it.
on
You
some
get it.
level.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us here at Get to the Podcast. Let's get to the podcast with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
I'm Neil Carson.
Ghostbusters! Shit.
I thought you were gonna do.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.